lovely day. Thank you. Okay, I'll stay there. Yeah, she's fine to go into here.
Just tell you that we can see Gina Miller. Gina Miller, the best run manager, brought the case. Youngsters appealed against their victory in the High Court in November. Brought them in Gina Miller said she had death threats to boycott her. Well, because of allegations. She will be home making the 11th Supreme Court
Yeah, I know. I saw you money. How
Yeah.
far are you?
Well, it's £96, £94
I did 40 pounds, 40, 95. I'll give £5 for it.
If you don't want to spoil it, don't spoil it, but don't blame us if they don't go close enough forward. I mean, it's so we can tell the AG, but I can't tell every single group.
No, that's fine.
So
Sorry,
you
I
can't just
don't
put some masking tape on the
Oh,
floor.
literally.
Yeah,
mark.
literally just
Yeah, I'll put a mark out.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then just look into the camera ahead. That's what I was telling him to do. Yeah.
Basically, that one there says UK pool.
Great.
It's taking it for Blue Sky.
That's fine.
And
Great.
the other camera's on the side.
Fabulous. And he'll do the clip, and then he'll just turn, and I think he'll walk down that tunnel out there.
Okay.
Say that again, please. He's going to walk out.
Yeah. I mean, he had it a bit up in the air, but I suspect what he'll do. All of these people will have left by then, and then he'll turn and he'll walk down there.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
Good.
Is that going to work? Will that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any chance? Yeah. Is there any chance he can take?
If I can, I'll try and bring that a little bit in a minute.
Okay.
But if you can just stand good and close to it, not too,
Yeah.
not too far back.
I'll tell him
So-
to stand very close to
Yeah,
it.
just look.
Brilliant. All right. Thank you.
This is the UK pool camera here, okay?
So I don't need
Will I see you later or not? Yeah.
No, you don't invite, you don't get to come over to you, absolutely not, because he's going to be doing this for UK pool.
But if I wanted to shout,
And he's going to be standing there for you. He's going to walk, he's going to come from here. Behind him. So you come down there.
I don't need a.
Okay. Yeah, hit the kids.
Who else?
I know, but get it straight on. So that means, yeah, that's what I mean. Early analysis, and, okay, I'm not thinking shit. I mean, I don't think it's better than Trump. It's just when Lawrence works. Better skills, like, you know, yeah, I think they kind of brought back. They had an intention. That's ambiguous. I'll get guys and have a get you in a minute. Next time,
Move this a long way this way. Have you got supposed to go here.
No, it's right.
Extensively picture straight from the camera to the mirror riding. And there should be like Emily, NWF Emily.
Do you know how far they want it back? So I've got some give on it.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah, sure, it will be.
You moving that forward?
Yeah, we've been asked to.
Oh right.
This is quite flimsy, it might be better off from that one. This is only supporting this is like really light.
I know, I didn't understand because I didn't know what to
Yeah, I know it's very.
Sorry. Right in the end of this.
Can we just move it back to one?
Are you happy where it is?
Can we just bring it back one?
Ah, so it's going to be there.
It's going to be, I don't know.
It's going to be on move forward, right?
Yeah.
It's going to stay there or stay there nearer the door.
Sorry? Say it again? Yeah, that would be a better idea, right? Have it in the middle. Don't know why. I think there's a pool
You right?
camera, maybe?
You okay?
Ah, it's pool. It's a pool. How far? How far? How far? Is that better? Paul? Paul!
So, do you
Is it obviously got a DA house that people can plug into?
Yes, there's a DA.
Do they know it though?
do you
Rather all
think
the mics coming out.
On this one here. On this one, but not on this one. Or this one. Und die Klebeband.
Ah,
Und hier. Ja. Bist du das? So, da hast du es. Entweder hier oder hier.
okay, sollen wir das so hier dran machen? Ich weiß nicht, was ich kriege. Ich habe keinen Stand mitgenommen.
Ja.
Wo kommen Sie her?
England. Ich bin vom BBC, aber vor Jahren war ich beim SWF in Baden-Baden.
Oh, wir sind vom NDR.
Ja, das weiß ich. Das sehe ich. In Berlin oder?
Nee.
Nein, Hamburg. Ja. So geht's so?
Dankeschön.
So, hoffentlich klappt's.
Danke.
Bitte.
All rise.
Judgment in the appeal, the Queen on the application of Miller and another, and the judgments in the Northern Ireland references.
On the 1st of January 1973, the United Kingdom joined the European Economic Community, now the European Union, the EU. This was achieved by government ministers signing a treaty of accession and Parliament enacting the European Communities Act 1972. Over the next 40 years, developments in the EU resulted from further treaties, many of which were adopted in subsequent acts of Parliament, and some of those acts curbed the exercise of the powers of UK ministers in EU institutions. One of those acts of Parliament was in 2008, and it approved the inclusion of Article 50 into the EU treaties. In broad terms, Article 50 provides that a country wishing to leave the EU must give a notice in accordance with its own constitutional requirements, and that the EU treaties shall cease to apply to that country within 2 years. On 23rd June 2016, a UK-wide referendum proceedings have nothing to do with whether the UK should exit from the EU or the terms or timetable for that exit. The main issue is whether the government can trigger Article 50 without the prior authority of an Act of Parliament. The other issues concern the obligations of the UK government under the devolution legislation before triggering Article 50, and in particular, whether the legislatures in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland must be consulted. So far as the main issue is concerned, as a general rule, the government has a prerogative power to withdraw from international treaties as it sees fit. However, the government cannot exercise that power if it would thereby change UK laws, unless it is authorised to do so by Parliament. The claimants argue that as a result of leaving the EU, UK law will change and legal rights enjoyed by UK residents will be lost. Accordingly, they say, the government cannot trigger Article 50 unless authorised by Parliament. In reply, the government argues that the 1972 Act does not exclude the power for ministers to withdraw from the EU treaties, and that Section 2 of the 1972 Act actually caters for the exercise of such a power. Today, by a majority of 8-3, the Supreme Court rules that the government cannot trigger Article 50 without an Act of Parliament authorising it to do so. Put briefly, the reasons given in a judgment written by all 8 justices in the majority are as follows. Section 2 of the 1972 Act provides that whenever EU institutions make new laws, those new laws become part of UK law. The 1972 Act therefore makes EU law an independent source of UK law until Parliament decides otherwise. Therefore, when the UK withdraws from the EU treaties, a source of UK law will be cut off. Further, certain rights enjoyed by UK citizens will be changed. Therefore, the government cannot trigger Article 50 without Parliament authorising that course. We reject the government's argument that Section 2 caters for the possibility of the government withdrawing from the EU treaties. There is a vital difference between changes in UK law resulting from changes in EU law, and those are authorised by Section 2, and changes in UK law resulting from withdrawal from the EU treaties. Withdrawal affects a fundamental change by cutting off the source of EU law as well as changing legal rights. The UK's constitutional arrangements require such changes to be clearly authorised by Parliament, and the 1972 Act does not do that. Indeed, it has the opposite effect. The referendum is of great political significance, but the Act of Parliament which established it did not say what should happen as a result. So any change in the law to give effect to the referendum must be made in the only way permitted by the UK Constitution, namely by an Act of Parliament. To proceed otherwise would be a breach of settled constitutional principles stretching back many centuries. The dissenting justices consider the government can trigger Article 50 without an authorising Act of Parliament. Their view is that the 1972 Act, taken with the 2008 Act, renders the domestic effect of EU law conditional on the EU treaties applying to the UK. In their view, Parliament has not imposed any limitation on the government's prerogative power to withdraw from the treaties, and if Article 50 is triggered, EU law will cease to have effect in UK law in accordance with the 1972 and 2008 Acts. On the devolution issues, the Court unanimously rules that UK ministers are not legally compelled to consult the devolved legislatures before triggering Article 50. The devolution statutes were enacted on the assumption that the UK would be a member of the EU, but they do not require it. Relations with the EU are a matter for the UK government. The Sewell Convention plays an important part in the operation of the UK Constitution, but the policing of its scope and its operation is not a matter for the courts. We thank all those who have played a part in helping us determine these important legal questions. Copies of the full judgment and of a summary version are now available on the Supreme Court website. The court is now adjourned.
Good morning. I want to begin by thanking the Justices of the Supreme Court for the careful consideration they've given to this matter. It's a case that it was wholly appropriate for the highest court in the land to decide. Of course, the government is disappointed with the outcome, but we have the good fortune to live in a country where everyone, every individual, every organisation, even government, is subject to the rule of law. So the government will comply with the judgment of the court and do all that is necessary to implement it. The court has been very clear throughout the hearing of this case that it has not been deciding whether the United Kingdom should or should not leave the European Union. The people of the United Kingdom have already made that decision, and now enacting that decision will be a political matter and not a legal matter. And so the Secretary of State for exiting the European Union will make a further statement in Parliament later today. Thank you very much indeed.
When will there be a bill, Attorney General? When will there be a bill?
Okay, I think we're going to be about 5 minutes away. Move back a bit, please. This. Yeah, guys, could you come this side?
I'm going to give a statement on behalf of Dear Dos Santos, who's the second claimant. My client is delighted by today's judgment. As a Brexiteer, he always said his motivation in bringing this claim was to ensure the correct and lawful process applied to triggering Article 50, and today's decision vindicates his role in shining a spotlight on the rightful process, as well as the role that the law plays in ensuring a lawful political process. This has been a unique and difficult fight, where the legal issues were often clouded by a polarised and politically charged backdrop. Yet, as has been made clear by the Supreme Court, again today, and the Divisional Court, this is a case not about whether we should withdraw from the European Union, but about the domestic constitution of the UK and the relationship between Parliament and government. The result is a reassertion by the court that we live in a parliamentary democracy in which, having been elected, our MPs in Parliament have the sovereign power to grant rights and remove them, a power only constricted by consideration of human rights and the rule of law. These rights affect people's lives, family lives, where they live, where they work, their very right to work in this country. They are vital rights in day-to-day life. The court has decided that the rights attaching to our membership of the European Union were given by Parliament and can only be taken away by Parliament. This is a victory for democracy and the rule of law. We should all welcome it. Some have asked, what is the point of this judgment now that the Prime Minister has said she will give Parliament a vote on the Brexit deal after negotiations? We can speculate that she may not have done so had not the cases of my client and Gina Miller been brought to the court. Is Mrs May's recent concession sufficient? The answer is no. Having served the Article 50 notice, we will withdraw from the Union on the second anniversary, whether a deal is done or not, and whether Parliament approves it or not. Parliament may then be left with a choice. Vote yes for the deal put to them, or we leave with no deal at all. The time for the vote then is now. on the principle of withdrawal and the inevitable removal of citizens' rights that will follow, both for citizens here and indeed UK citizens in the European Union. In considering an Article 50 statute, we are sure that MPs will have those rights in mind. Finally, this is also a victory for our judicial process. Both my client and his co-claimant Gina Miller have received hate mail of the most vile and threatening nature, yet have had their case heard and treated by the courts with the greatest of respect. The court itself has been vilified and judges subject to intense media criticism and intimidation. Yet a determination has been made based purely on the legal issues, which is as it should be. The judges are not the enemies of the people. They are for the people to stop arbitrary action by a government. The government and the Lord Chancellor should today confirm its unquestioning support for the rights of the claimants in this case and their respect for the court's decision. This is a victory for parliamentary democracy and the rule of law, and whatever changes we're about to face as a result of Brexit, it is reassuring that these sacred principles have today been reaffirmed and will hopefully endure. Thank you.
Good morning. For some of us, this is a matter of life or death. I'm John Shaw of Fair Deal for Expats. We, the expat interveners, have been involved in this historic case since the outset, representing the 2 million or so British citizens who live in other parts of Europe. We are delighted and relieved by the decision of the Supreme Court today. There can now be proper control by the MPs the British people elect over the process of the UK leaving the EU. Together with 3 million nationals of other European countries who live here, we are the people who will be most profoundly affected by all of this. Everything people in Britain take for granted in their daily lives rests, for us, on our being EU citizens, from being able to work to accessing vital healthcare and our children's education. Let me give you an example. Healthcare is absolutely key. Many UK pensioners are entitled to join the healthcare systems of the countries in which they live. These rights would be lost, and thousands of UK expatriates unable to continue to receive the healthcare to which they are entitled. My friend Paul, from the village we live in Lausanne, sadly now deceased, lived an extra 4.5 years because the French healthcare system was able to provide him with treatment that our wonderful NHS was not able to do. I have cancer for the 3rd time and get treatment in France. So it is a matter of life or death. Despite this, a large number of us were not permitted to vote in the referendum at all. Many of us now face losing our basic citizenship rights without ever having a say-so. The rights of these millions of people went largely overlooked in the referendum. Proper parliamentary scrutiny now offers the best chance for our circumstances to be considered in the lead-up to the Brexit negotiations. This is the human side of Brexit. We would urge the government not to use us as bargaining chips. We will be calling on the government and the European Commission to ensure hard guarantees are put in place about what the future holds for such a large number of ordinary people. We ask that governments across the EU do the same. I'd like to thank our excellent legal team from Croft Solicitors and Henderson Chambers, and the 11 Supreme Court Justices for their thoughtful consideration of this case. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, standing by for Miller any second. Right, stand by for Miller.
Let
Good morning. It's impossible. Sorry, excuse me. Good morning. Today, 8 of the 11 Supreme Judges upheld the judgment handed down by the High Court in November in a case that went to the very heart of our Constitution and how we are governed. Only Parliament can grant rights to the British people, and only Parliament can take them away. No Prime Minister, no government can expect to be unanswerable or unchallenged. Parliament alone is sovereign. This ruling today means that MPs we have elected will rightfully have the opportunity to bring their invaluable experience and expertise to bear in helping the government select the best course in the forthcoming Brexit negotiations. Negotiations that will frame our place in the world and all our destinies to come. There is no doubt that Brexit is the most divisive issue of a generation. But this case was about the legal process, not politics. Today's decision has created legal certainty based on our democratic process and provides the legal foundations for the government to trigger Article 50. I want to express my gratitude to the Supreme Court, my team at Mishcon de Reir, Lord Pannick QC and my other counsel for being to conduct themselves with such integrity and thoughtfulness in the face of extraordinary and unwarranted criticism. In Britain, we are lucky, we are fortunate to have the ability to voice legitimate concerns and views as part of a shared society. I have therefore been shocked by the levels of personal abuse that I have received from many quarters over the last 7 months for simply bringing and asking a legitimate question. I sincerely hope that going forwards, people who stand in positions of power and profile are much quicker in condemning those who cross the lines of common decency and mutual respect. Lastly, I would like to wholeheartedly thank those who've sent me the most heartwarming messages of support. They have truly helped to bolster me in this most arduous process. Thank you.
I need to do some shots apparently. I need to do some shots, I think. Do I do some shots? I need to the Prime Minister.
The legal fight is over. The legal fight presumably is over.
We'll take a deep breath. Constitutional we also now know that time will trigger Brexit possible political the government of Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales.
So Brexit is Article 52 actually can you throw
I don't think the timetable is being made. I mean, the reason why it's being made is Parliament try to pass a law. The unexpected could happen. But I just don't think British politicians are prepared to receive it.
and yet you've got some devolved parliaments against Scotland, Wales.
Absolutely.
Stay with us. Hello and welcome to watching BBC News. I'm Tim Wilcox, live outside the Supreme Court in central London, a stone's throw away from the Palace of Westminster. Here's a camera of the latest 11 Supreme Court justices have defeated the government's appeal by a margin of 8 to 3, but the Parliament must decide and actually pass a plan allowing up to 50 to be vote, which effectively is the start of the go button for leaving the start of the year. Theresa May, the government has lost that appeal, which was decided by the High Court a few months ago, but it now seems likely that they will get an Act of Parliament through by that deadline that Theresa May has set herself of March 31st to invoke.
I thought, is there somebody that prompts questions, or do you just make statements, or do you just come over? We don't want to come over. Alright, I'd grab their attention if you just want to make a statement of some sort, then I'll just holler.
No, Mark and all, they're all here in BBC and all. They want to speak to us.
Yeah.
So whether they're going to do it on their own or with us, we'll see. Alright. That's brilliant. There's Mark.
What they did was they simply read out this here.
We should have come out. Oh no. Stay away from it. See in the court, you didn't want to know where. I didn't want to speak to the author to say we should all have bed. Didn't want to know what to say after. Right?
Yeah. They will read the news.
The Sky News one is just over there. Yeah, we've got one of the BBC channels just interviewing I'm in the queue for that.
You said what is